Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Mina Crichton. Today is the 7th of September 2025, and I thought I'd just do a quick video clip in the moment, and it's in regards to my court cases, or the one that's currently pending, and I just for evidence sake, and also for everyone else that's watching my case, I feel it's in the best interests of the public and for those honest people in government to actually, for me to do what I'm doing, and I know it's working. So yeah, but I just thought I'll update you guys with my court case and just some things that I feel is relevant to actually mention in this video clip. Okay, it's quite clear that the case is definitely 100% indictable offences, is what it used to be called in the criminal jurisdiction. However, the system has changed to this new age system, and I didn't really realise the seriousness of it, although I knew I was under serious duress in the moment during the process of what they were doing to me, but after the fact, just the reality of how serious it really is, it's nothing like it. I am definitely a victim to a trafficking ring that is global, but they have changed the system to Criminal Procedure Act 2011, so anything to do with my kind of case is actually a category 4 case, and so charges are all about conspiracy crimes or charges relating to an individual is what my case is. It all falls in category 4. Okay, I can say it also confirm it is a diversion of the old system, meaning the way that the system has changed puts everybody's life at stake, because it's a deviation of the system of the original's life going to another person. Okay, this is where the illegal commonwealth games come in. And the originals used in the moment are the ones that are actually the innocent civilians in the actual environment. So they're either innocent because somebody else has told them what to do and they're just doing it, or they are being hired by the same negative force or same negative alliance. It is corruption. Okay, it is also the system of the underworld. So I'm just a victim to it, and I feel in my heart to expose things as they happen in the moment, and then I'm just going to trust God with everything else. Okay, but it is a very serious system globally, because it's a global game, and innocent people are missing, being murdered, because they've stolen their life or whatever. What has happened to me, that I'm evidence to it, and that. So and just because I'm actually a victim to it, to the process that's so illegal. It's 100% illegal, but I now can confirm exactly for my own personal journey. This is my journey, and I just know without a shadow of doubt I'm within my right place for what is for me. However, I'm going to just expose things as they happen in relation to my court case and the system itself, the actual process of the system that is illegal. Okay, so I'd like to actually use my posts as an example, so everyone can get an understanding of where I'm actually coming from. But I can confirm that I have been used for a product that my allies or whoever has used me personally and intimately have used the misuse of devices to actually study me over the years while I was working for my employer, and when I was, just going about my private business. So I never really was private. If you've been watching all the other videos, they're exactly the things that I say is exactly what I have gone through personally. But the project actually involves like a big, massive operation of taking a person's life apart. And then the opposing allies are actually using people within that person's private life. So there could either be people who've committed, they're just finding somebody with the same spirit, or somebody that would actually go along with the game, and then they are being groomed by the agents. They call them agents now, but in saying that, we don't know who it is, because these people could be gang members, or it is definitely corruption. It is definitely the underworld method of taking over somebody's personal territory and actually secretly stealing without getting caught, just by the misuse of devices. And that is what I've been subject to historically. So if you're into criminology, my case is the kind of case you'd be interested in, because it's hardcore evidence in regards to an individual, one single person, because it is my life, it's my journey. No one's walked it for me, I've walked it by myself. However, that people have been secretly animated or inanimate me secretly without my consent, linking to the government. Yes, it is like the invisible world, really, but it's not really invisible. But these people are actually creating an illusion. Okay, it's cybercrime, criminal tactics. But for those that are just minding their own business, the actual original, for them in the moment, they know something is not right. They can feel it. They feel the unsafeness. They feel that there's something not right, but they can't put their finger on it or explain it. But the whole game is, we're talking about, spiritually speaking, we're talking about a evil force, and we're talking about a positive force. So over time, when a home invasion takes place, a negative force is within that, is within the victim's environment. The purpose is, if it's linking to money or anything like that, the negative alliance, if you ignore it, will override. So this picture kind of explains where I'm coming from. Okay, I've just used that as an example, but the evidence is an illusion. Okay, the evidence is purposed to deceive. My concern is the tampering and the creating of evidence in the moment, from the original to the courts or anywhere else. Okay, as we know it, my case is against several body corporates, which is the government. So the government in my case is the defendant. Okay, so at this point in time, my case is now definitely against the Independent Police Conduct Authority, and New Zealand Police case is already over, but it's not finished. Okay, so but I'm just going to update you with what's going on with this case, but keeping in mind everything is linked to the government. So I am dealing with unlawful strikes and lockouts. Okay, I'm contesting that what is written about me in statement by the government or by the judges at that point in time, they are called unlawful strikes. Okay, they also fall in the criminal jurisdiction, because that's not true. So it's like my integrity versus the opposing ally, but it is a project that involves lots of people, not just one person. So I'm definitely locked out. Okay, my privacy is completely gone, so I'm an exploited person. That's very clear, and the evidence will show that on my profile historically. Because I've been very efficient with my evidence, It's not hard to prove. However, over the years, people have destroyed evidence, or they're destroying evidence as things happen. So whether I'm doing my court case or not, they're still destroying or trying to find a way to eliminate me to death. Okay, so there's sufficient evidence to prove conspiracy to commit murder in my profile upon myself, and at this point of time upon Henry Cavill. Okay, we're both just subject to something that's been going on for a long time, and I just think it was just our turn. But we're talking about criminal international global game, and the evidence is very suffice, it's very accurate, right? What I'm having problems with is the in between of the retyping documents. Okay, they are collecting people's legal documents, and they're retyping them, and that even the judgments that the judges made, going back to Judge Chalice's judgment, I noticed that the judgment has been retyped, just like names missing or something, because I've got a very good memory. Okay, my memory is just one of these. I could get stressed like anybody else, but when I'm rested and everything, I have a very excellent memory, and I just know. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this in the moment because this is quite serious. It's so serious. Okay, so all my video clips is actually an exhibit for a criminal case. The case is actually an international criminal case. So I know that everyone is watching, but I believe I'm supposed to be doing this to help everyone, because it is set out to eventually kill people's bloodline. All right, it is set out after using people, innocent civilians who get involved in something they have no idea what's ahead of them. Okay, so they're being lied to or used by another person just as a tool. Okay, they're just being used just as a tool. So even those that are, in my environment, I know that some of them are just being used as a tool. So the whole trickery of the game is just, it's mixed match evidence and just trying to confuse me. That's what they're doing. Okay, so it is a very serious game, spiritually speaking, and also naturally speaking, because these people are such a coward. Okay, I'm denouncing them because they are a coward. They won't kill people, they won't kill you until they think it's safe to kill you. They can kill you by poisoning you. They can kill you by causing a car accident. The whole idea with the secret society, system, which is illegal, all the government has done is just set everybody up and themselves. Because it's global. We're talking about they're using international everything. I've known I was targeted going back to 2008, but then it just slowly accumulated. It got hostile on and off, all right? And I'm a survivor of it, and I'm not afraid to speak the truth. I'm not afraid to expose what they're doing, because that is really serious. The system is taking out very good people, honest people, even rich and poor people, but they're stealing and using people for money laundering. They're using the relationship scam to get their foot in the door, and then they steal. It's a game to them. In fact, they're actually feeding off other people's suffering. Okay, I've been using Henry and I's relationship. Okay, I've been listening to the social media stuff because they like to have the upper hand. Okay, and I like to know what they're up to too, and I can just tell by the temperature of the public arena. Okay, I can just tell. I can tell their next move, their next motive. But you all have to keep in mind who is in the wrong, them or me. What I'm doing, I'm exposing my in the moment evidence for a real court case. I'm exposing the tactics of the opposing ally in my space secretly stealing and breaking the law. Okay, so they're using tactics like the tariff reading, okay, and I know that what I'm doing is working because they're slowly disappearing because they're scared, because I think they realize, oh my gosh, this is real. And that's the difference, okay? My reality is real. I'm proving to everyone they're in my space. I'm not in theirs. So if they're in my space, they're breaking the law. If they're saying things about Henry that is not true, I'm denouncing that. So really it's up to everyone to decide who are they going to listen to. But this is like a legal matter. So, and it is a legal case, and public interest and welfare is at stake, and so is the government. Okay, I worked for the government for over 17 and a half years. And the reality was, I was not safe because of the technology and because I knew they were studying me. All right, and now I can actually prove in the court of law that I was under very serious duress set of circumstances. I knew it, but I couldn't prove it, and I didn't know what to do about it other than just put in those complaints, which now I can go back and fall on those complaints. Okay, so I'm denouncing anything to do with Henry. He's not on social media. He is not talking to anyone else. He is not secretly being deceitful. He knows very well that if I find out he's lying, because this is what his reputation affects mine. My reputation affects his. We are both on the same boat. We know that our situation is serious, quite obviously, but the issue that I have, he doesn't care about public social media stuff, but I'm coming from the criminal side of conspiracy tactics by people breaking the law and conspiracy tactics that are unlawful. Okay, tarot readers, they do not have the right to do any tarot reading on anybody's life without that person's consent, and I can confirm Henry Cavill has not consented to it. However, that has been their tactic. Okay, sometimes it's just a tactic to initiate, and they want to find out more, and I know they're looking for him. Okay, and I'm not going to say anything about where he is or anything, but he's safe, he's doing well, but he is not with anyone in the public. Okay, he's not. I'm very disappointed with my discovery, but I have to expose it in the moment. Okay, I'm definitely a animated victim. Okay, while I was working for my employer, this is what they're doing. Okay, it's the same thing that's happened to Henry, even though he doesn't understand it. But we are in the same kind of situation historically, just his circumstance is different, mine is different. But this is what it's like, okay, when you're being animated, somebody's following, copying you, they're actually studying the project, okay, and now I can prove all that. Okay, anything to do with the courts, it's a felony, all right? So anyone who presents any evidence to a judge is misleading the judge, whether it's written or even lying in court. It's a felony, it's a breach. Okay, but this system, they are cheating, okay? And basically God's just revealing to me how they're cheating. And I don't know what the government's going to do about it, but I have to expose my case. I know exactly what they're doing. They've taken some of my legal documents and they've used the government letterhead and retyped them. Okay, because that's serious, and I found that in my profile over the years. So the reality is, in my profile, everybody that I've been a client to can all be investigated for money laundering, and for locking and blocking me out, and for deleting my profile. So if you guys have deleted my profile, that's a sign that all have been, part of a conspiracy, because it's illegal to delete people's existence. And that is what I have found, what they've been doing to me. After using me, they're deleting evidence. And then I realize their whole motive and intent is to keep me down. It's to keep me from advancing financially, to keep me advancing anyway. And unfortunately, genocide has taken place, and that can be proven in my court case. Okay, so a global conspiracy involves global, international. It is the most serious system on the face of the earth. Okay, they've turned me into a product, or they've turned me to promote other people, basically taking away my life, other people living it and stealing whatever it is, monetary value, and stuff like that. And that's exactly the same thing with what's happened to Henry Cavill. Now, the game involves relationship scams, okay? And whoever's behind it is sick in the head. Whoever's the mastermind of this game, I'm not afraid to say, I'm telling you right now, I wish I could look at you in the eye and tell you, you are sick in the head. Okay? But I'm denouncing this game because of all the things that I have witnessed as an individual. Now, anything to do with court integrity, the constitution of the court, or the Ministry of Justice, has to do with integrity, honesty, and their services. So we're dealing with good faith or bad faith. It's but what I've gone through, what people have done to me, words, money could never ever replace or compensate what I've gone through. Never ever. Okay, if I had a choice, I'd rather have my life back. Okay, but anyway, it is fraud. Okay, anything you put before the judge, anything the judges sign, if it's not, 100% accurate, they know, and everyone knows, it can be challenged any time when it becomes indictable or very serious violent offences like mine. Okay. So today I'll be just going on about my court case, just a slight update. You all know that my hearing is tomorrow. Okay, but I've been through so much personally, because the victimization is personal. I'm glued to the people. I'm glued to the allies. They're just, playing musical chair, taking turns over the years. That's what they're doing. Okay, so the reality is my court case falls under this bracket. Okay, serfdom, debt bonding, slavery, slave-like offences. Okay, it's really serious. It's under trafficking in persons in the Crimes Act, and organised crime. Okay, so the judges just need to have a look, but I can now prove I'm a victim to this, and so I'm standing against it. I'm denouncing everything as it happens in the moment. But cases like this has no limitation laws. The limitation laws are squashed. They do not exist in cases like mine, meaning whoever takes over my case, if I decide to hand it over to a criminal barrister legally, then they have the authority to dig up everything in relation to my private life, even if those people are dead. Okay, even if they've gone missing, they'll get a search warrant and find out where they are and put them in prison, because that's where they belong. So the game is global. To this day, they have not stopped trying to sabotage, but I can confirm God's definitely with me, because it's working. Okay, they're slowly stopping what they're doing, because obviously they're scared. Okay, it is a coward's game. All right, it's a coward's game. I do not see anything funny about it. I do not see what's so funny about hurting another person just for the sake of a game, or to steal. Okay, so we're going to go talk about IPCA case quickly. I'm trying not to make this video clip too long. The last time I actually heard from Karen Ferris, because there's two, well, basically I think there's 4 or 5 lawyers right now, okay, for this case. So it's quite, I feel bullied. I am being bullied, but it's okay. The thing is, at this stage, I've had this discussion, or we've had this correspondent dispute with the courts and with the new council, okay? But everyone's got to keep in mind, I'm not the defendant, I'm the plaintiff, okay? The defendant are the people that have actually broken the law and whom I am alleging that they've broken the law, or they've let me down, or is the cause of a home invasion, or, because they did not do their job at that point in time. It has caused loss of so many things to do with myself, but not only myself, I know also it's affected my private life, and home invasion has taken place. So it is called a conspiracy, but it's an indirect conspiracy by advance breaches. Because I've been so efficient leaving evidence behind, like the Hansel and Gretel story, that story where Hansel left pebbles so he can find his way home. I've done exactly the same kind of thing, but legally. I'm also very blessed with my gifts. I'm very blessed with a good memory, and I do know how to find the evidence. But it's the in the moment deception that I am concerned about for everyone, okay? Because I'm telling you, I may just be the last one to even actually make it this far because of this technology system. With technology, they can do anything. They can create anything, okay? And I'm quite sure the corrupt world society love it. The gangs love it because they can easily do whatever. Rich millionaires, billionaires, or whatever they want to call themselves. Some of them, I wouldn't say all of them are evil or whatever. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just talking about the motive and the intent, and what the power of money. They're paying people money to do stuff, and they're doing it. But it's the deception to do with the technology. It's really serious. Okay, they've pinned me down, and then they've built a shrine around me, and anything I do, somebody is sabotaging it or blocking it. That's the reason why I have not been able to go forward. That's the reason why I have not been able to advance, because there is no reason for me to not advance. But it's clear case of internal corruption. Okay, so to this day, no one has that right to do that. It's still a criminal offence if you can prove it. Now, I can prove it. Okay, but my concern is the evidence, it's the tampering, and how easy it is to steal somebody else's life or all their hard work, and somebody else gets a free ride out of it. It's money laundering, okay? So I'm talking, in this case, there is, I already gone over, I won't spend too much time on the same thing, but my concern are things like this, okay? Karen Ferris' last response to me, I know because like I said, I've got a good memory, was on the 10th of July, okay? The judge had made a direction for her to actually do in a statement of defense, which was due on July the 11th, okay? And I know without a shadow of doubt, she put in she responded to me, instead of a statement of defense, she responded by, and I acknowledge receipt of this document. So when I was putting my details together, I noticed the date. I'm having people deleting my emails, okay? The opposing allies, whoever's doing the tampering of the court system, tampering of evidence from me being the victim, I'm representing myself, is having access to all this. Okay? I noticed today when I was just putting everything together, she's put there, I will mention this to the judge. Okay, there are other documents that I've submitted to court. I've noticed I didn't write that. I noticed where did that come from? But I knew that somebody have republished my documents, making it evidence. That's sick. But this is how intimate they are in my space. So I don't care if they delete everything about me, but I know I can still get evidence to prove. I mean, even the fact that they're deleting stuff, that's a crime on its own. But I noticed here that somebody has changed the email to June the 4th. Okay, they can do this to the technology. Okay, they can republish things to make it look like it's current when it's not. Okay, so this is one of the example. I also will like to also find out who did some tampering with my legal documents and some of my personal documents. Okay, this is you can understand why I'm being suppressed, or why the opposing ally has to have their foot in the door 24/7, because they know very well that's very serious criminal offences. Okay, the other thing I have noticed, everybody that is helping me, the opposing ally are actually tipping off their people to let them know who is helping me. And I know those people don't know that they're being tipped off, but I know because I'm watching what they're doing on social media. Because we all know that the devil wants to always have the upper hand, and this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing with the technology. So if people in your life just disappear, or, just disappear, it's because of this system. And I know who's helping me because they're tipping it off. That's it, and it's global. Okay, that's unfair. Good people getting murdered because they've got good motive intent, or they're within their right legally by law to do what they're doing, but they are at risk too, because the opposing ally who's mastermind the system wants to keep the system, and we're dealing with people with lots and lots of money globally. Okay, that puts New Zealand at risk. So I have to denounce things as they happen. Okay, we're dealing with imposters. I mean, come on, I've been the most boringest, the most private person I know. I live my life like many people like myself who, I hate public stuff. I actually hate social media. But sometimes, God pushes us out of our comfort zone because there's something that he wants us to learn, whether other people agree with it or not, okay? And at the end of the day, I have no intentions of killing myself for anybody, all right? I love life. I'm entitled to a private life. I'm entitled to advance like every normal person, okay? But I'm just sharing my experience because I know a lot of people are too scared to even talk about stuff like this. I know a lot of good people are in hiding and scared because they know I'm telling the truth and everything I'm saying is true. But I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of the devil. If God decides to take me away, that's fine. But I contest, I rebuke, I will denounce this game because it has to do with me. Henry says he doesn't care about the public or anything. I don't care about that either, but I do care about deception. I do care if it's about me. I do care if people are using misuse of devices to cause an alliance, a criminal alliance, to hurt innocent people. Okay? Henry's mum got robbed. Henry got robbed too. Right? During this process is all part of the illegal commonwealth, meaning that someone in your family may be trafficked right under your nose and you don't know about it. Okay, I know a lot of people in my environment didn't understand me because why would they? Because my background and what God's taught me belongs to me, doesn't belong to them. Okay, they have their own journey, I have mine. So we're dealing with imposters now. I don't see any wisdom around caring about the public welfare and putting hub desks and emails, and then, we just use our phone to talk and online to communicate. I mean, all it is just setting up innocent, vulnerable people to get abused and used by other people globally, like what they've done to me. And then they're twinning and they're switching, but it is incite to mutiny. Okay, and it is global. Okay, this here no longer exists in the Crimes Act because they've deleted it. So to repeal, it means they've deleted it. Okay, so it's just say if I didn't make it, all the evidence in my personal profile would be suffice to prove that is all false evidence. But no one can actually do that accurately other than myself. Yes, I'm not the only one with the gifts that I've got. I know there's heaps of other good people out there with the same motive and intent, okay, and stuff like that. But I'm just saying that if I didn't make it, everything on my personal property and my profile, which to do with my legal documents, that's my property, okay? What government agency write about me, that's my business. That's my property. Okay, so the unlawful strikes is fraud. Okay, that's my property. I have every right to contest that. Okay, so I'm denouncing all this, okay? These women represent their countries. Okay, that's not a fair fight. Okay, that is not a fair fight. It's a coward's game. Okay, and I know that a lot of innocent civilians have died because of this animation game. Okay, I mean, it goes to show how powerful my God is, though, because I live to tell the truth. Because what I've gone through, their purpose and their intent was for me to never ever tell my story. All right. But that is what I'm up against. And they only need one person in your space to be a traitor. Simple. And then you'll have it's a global game. Okay. And then you have all these people conspiring secretly just by using their jobs. I'm exploited. I feel like a package or something. I know I can feel it. I can feel my environment is not natural. Okay, I'm going to denounce this video clip, okay? I don't know whoever put it together, but there are bits and pieces in this video clip I knew they're talking about me. All right?
Did you see that there was a recent kind of census or survey that was done of students, and their number one favourite food that came out across New Zealand?
It's like woke kids to me. Just kidding.
Sorry, I have to repeat myself because I just realised I had the video off. So the coding is actually in the word they say. The coding is in the background, the colouring. I know what they're doing because it's me they're talking about. And it does link to my court case, okay? So you guys can watch it yourself, but I will interpret what they're saying, okay? And just from what I think, they're talking about me for sure. Okay, it's a reference and a tip-off to the public. But everyone knows that my court case is at the moment, the judge, it could finish, it could go on for the next couple of days, depending on what happens tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow is my court case. But, excuse me, this is in regards to relationship scam. They don't actually not talking about the people, the originals. Okay, so they're not talking about the originals, but rather they're coded. Okay, they've coded the originals. So when they talk or when they see their video clips, the public is moved by what they see, and they're believing what they're saying because they are public officials. Okay, these are our politicians. People look up at politicians, expecting them to always, be truthful, and that's, rightly so, because that's what we expect as public, the public people. So I've watched this video. I showed Henry this video, but this video is indicating that he is with another person at this point in time. Sometimes they're indicating he's with Natalie. He is not with Natalie. He is not with anyone. In fact, I know where he is. Okay, he's not with anyone at all. He's not communicating with anyone. He is not working. But unfortunately, I can tell that some of the video clips made by the allies or the opposing ally linking to my government, there's a lot of state here, okay? There's obviously, I'm worth a lot of money, okay, that is rightfully, legally mine, okay? Doesn't belong to anybody else legally, okay? But this is not even about money. This is about what they are doing is not right. Okay, and this is just not right. Okay, a criminal lawyer will know exactly what I'm talking about, or a criminal judge. So they're not. It is a breach, but it's a matter of how you're going to prove it's a breach. There are ways around things like that. From experience, there are ways around things like that. But I'm denouncing it and I'm making it right. Also, I have found that the white supremacists, the rich people behind the scene, they see me as a peasant. Okay, they look down upon me as, obviously, they've let me know how they feel in the moment. So it's quite clear that their motive and intent again is to steal without getting caught. Unfortunately, cases like mine, there is no limitation laws. Okay, so I'll just make that point. There is no limitation laws involving victims to crimes like mine, because it's unlawful discrimination. They've kind of like used me for gambling kind of games, relationships, scams. I mean, Henry got sabotaged. Obviously, all our plans have been sabotaged because somebody has made it their personal business that we will never meet. But they've also, at the same time, are trying to set him up with other people, and they're doing it to me too. But I'm just exposing the game for the sake of others. I don't know, just, bringing awareness for trafficking ring and what these agents are actually doing, okay? Because the system now involves agents. We don't know who they expect us to not know who the agents are. These agents want to control and manipulate without revealing who they are. But I can confirm over the years, the underworld has been behind what I've gone through. And, I know who's been behind the murders too. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so cases like mine, there is no limitation laws. It should not even be in the criminal case. The whole idea of the game is to make me look like I'm the crazy one. Okay, so basically the people that are animating are living an illusion, a life of a lie and deception linking to the unlawful strikes. Now, in saying that, the unlawful strikes, the judges may not be, responsible. I'm saying in the middle. It's in the middle between me and my court case and the judge making the judgment. Unfortunately, I have already discovered in my court case that the case officer involving my court case is part of the negative alliance to eliminate me. How do I know that? Is because of the way she's dealing with me. Okay, so it's either she's doing it on her own, or she's inexperienced, or somebody else is telling her to do what she's doing. So that's a danger for the public when experienced court deputy registrars, do not, move by their own conscience or move with what they know what is right, but they are siding with the Crown, all right? They are siding. In my case, the Negative Alliance are siding with the Crown, okay? That's an unfair fight on me. But the problem that I have is the tampering with the evidence. The problem that I have is the deception and the lies that they're giving me. All right, so I got the hearing tomorrow, and I'll update you all. I've given options to some people to turn up if they want to. So I am up against, at this point in time, according to the laws, there's only one person on record, which is Karen Ferris, who didn't turn up or didn't do a statement of defence as instructed by the judge. But there is a new lawyer on board, but the courts have not acknowledged him yet as the Crown, as the new lawyer on the court record. Why? It's because the other lawyer hasn't withdrawn yet. Okay, they have to actually get the court's leave to withdraw, which means they have to get permission, or they have to let the court know that she's withdrawn, and that is why the judge has not responded to, because I put in a memorandum to ask the court to confirm that this is the new counsel, because he'd put in a statement of defence, and I was like, okay, do I respond to his statement of defence or not? But the courts didn't respond. And the other confusion I've had, there's been several deputy registrars handling my case. So, I've used them thinking that it's them, or somebody will tell me as the case officer is another person. And then I've sent my email to them, and then they're not sending it to the other person. So I'm dealing with intentional damage of somebody's personal property, which is mine. But I did, so I'm just exposing in the moment the system. Okay, that is the point I'm doing with this. Okay, but they are cheating, they are coding, they are inciting globally. And for the sake of those that are watching over me, they know who you are, because I've watched the social media and they're tipping off everyone who is helping me or who are the people I'm close to. Okay? That is so serious. All right, so this is my situation and everyone else that are the original pinned down. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter how private you are, with what I've gone through can happen to anyone. I was so boring and private when I was working for the government, and honestly, everyone can confirm that. I know that they haven't killed everyone in my private life, but if they all got to be summoned to a big criminal case and put under oath, they wouldn't be lying. Okay, but the whole game is all about lies, delusion, deception, and they're stealing off my energy. Henry's the original. Henry's actually very, very a straight person. Okay, he's like me, straight personality. He gets annoyed about little things and doesn't like deception and all the rest of it. I'm the same. I hate it. I hate what they are doing. But I know that the only way I can help myself and everyone else is denounce it. It's defamation, okay? It's illegal. It's not a joke. I mean, these people are trying to make out things are funny and all this is happening, and here I am minding my own business. All I did my life was, I was very routine kind of a person. They've basically wiped out a nation in my private life. All right? But anyway, I think I'll leave it at that for now, because I'm definitely the victim in this case. Okay, so I am representing myself, and So at this point of time, I've been under so much stress and pressure against my will, and honestly, it is a trafficking ring, okay? I've been personally pinned down while other people are secretly trying to steal. But anyway, I'm getting better. I've been under pressure and all the rest of it, just and doing my best to do my best for tomorrow. But I'll let you guys know after some time when I get the chance to, of the outcome of the actual court case.